Hi, this is Dylan with Now Producing, and we're here with Massa Nera.
My name is Chris. I play guitar and do vocals.
My name is Alan. I also play guitar and do vocals.
My name is Mark. I drum and do vocals.
My name is AJ, I play bass and do vocals.
What's the point of the living? Another 40 hours gone. Replaceable.
Your last full length, how many months would you say it took to compile the material for that release?
The opening track to that record specific goes as far back as 2018. We've gone through like some lineup changes. That also doesn't help with how fast we release something. So
we didn't have a practice space.
We didn't have a practice space. For instance, that opening riff in the record, 2018, I wrote it.
I wrote Adrift in
2017.
Yeah.
Yes,
like
there's a video of
2016,
you,
like
me, and our old bassist playing it
Yeah.
December 2017.
That's really impressive considering how cohesive the record is and how it all just really melds together.
I like to think that we like to think big picture for the way that we write. We become a little precious with the vision. Once we establish that, it's kind of hard for us to deviate from that. That really influences the way we write, what we decide to keep, maybe ultimately what goes. We've ever really gotten rid of anything.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever scratched the song completely.
We have ideas that we never
we have
completed. Like Alan's saying, I don't think we've ever completed a song where we're like, this is it, this is the final version, and then just scrapped it from a record.
Do you think reading the lyrics to your music is an integral part of the experience in terms of understanding it at a greater level?
I mean, on the one hand, since we all play instruments, the music does come first, and I like to think that when we're writing, we try to compose songs that could stand on their own without vocals. So I don't think when we add vocals and lyrics, to me, it doesn't feel like we're turning something that was incomplete into a finished song. It feels like we're taking something that already could stand on its own and transforming it into something else. But with that being said, I definitely do think that the lyrics are an integral part of the band.
We'll have debates on if just one measure should be 4, 6, or 7.
Yeah.
Or how long we should hold a pause.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We try every one until we all decide which one's the best.
Yeah.
And then sometimes we find that 2 or more of them work the most.
Yeah. It's like a time-honored tradition that if 2 or more people are, proposing different ideas, at some point we're like, why don't we just do all the ideas? Yeah. And lots of times that works out,
You have a lot of iterations of each song you write, you feel like?
Yeah, I'd say we probably rewrite a song at least 5 times. We'll start off with the bass. We'll probably have a few minutes of music, and then the next practice we'll pretty much rewrite a lot of it. We'll rewrite a lot of transitions into next parts and stuff like that. Every song definitely has been rewritten multiple times before we're finally this is how we want to have it.
Sometimes as late as the day before we go into the studio.
We also like to self-examine what we're doing. Feel like, are we repeating this the same amount of times every time? How can we extend or contract those kinds of thoughts?
Guys, post a lot on Twitter. The next Massa Nera record is gonna come with a fucking viewing list. That happened?
No.
There was a reading or viewing list with the next Massa Nera record, what kind of books
Oh my
or
God.
viewing would be on it?
So basically, a lot of the stuff that we're reading right now has to do with the climate crisis. So, for example, this book called The Great Derangement, that would be on the list. Climate Change is Racist would be on the list. Reading Sweetgrass.
Creating Sweetgrass.
The last few years, I've really been interested in this cultural critic philosopher named Mark Fisher. So a couple of his books would be on the list. Capitalist Realism, which for me is sort of like a lodestar philosophically. Ghosts of My Life. In our last record, we were very interested in the idea of hauntology, discussing hauntological ideas. Mark Fisher, watching a lot of
What does hauntological mean?
early 90s, the Soviet Union falls. Francis Fukuyama says that it's the end of history. Neoliberal capitalism has established itself as the inevitable endpoint of socioeconomic development. Jacques Derrida disagreed with that. He coined this term hauntology, basically to describe the specter of things that persist, right? So Mark Fisher noticed, 15 years later or so, a strain of UK electronic music that was interrogating elements of UK culture that existed before Margaret Thatcher.
Do you have a degree?
In psychology, yeah. I have a master's in psychology.
I also have a copy of Ghosts of My Life by Mark Fisher.
It's a big part of the band.
Oh yeah, at least for what we've been thinking about these past couple years. It's kind of consumed our lives. Imagine what the conversations in the car are like. It's that, and then it's Saint Anger.
Hauntology, it's just the idea of trying to interrogate the lost futures contained within the past. Not in the sense that you're trying to be nostalgic, like, oh, wasn't the past amazing? Don't we want to return to that time? More like, what was the unfulfilled cultural and political promise that we believed in, and how can we look back in order to imagine a new way forward?
Who does your music videos?
Mainly Mark. Mark does all the editing and a lot of the filming with their wife Wendy.
When we were making videos for Dead of My Kid Ed Barad, for that, we were all doing filming at various points. We were all pretty involved in the ideas. For that record, I was really more so spearheading the editing above all else. But you were suggesting where to put the camera. You had the cameras at some point, so it was really collaborative. The videos for our last full length all tied into the themes of the record. Everything. It was like a big fucking spider web.
The last one you put out was
Division, yeah. We put that out. That was kind of like an experiment in seeing if I could just take a bunch of clips that already existed and put them together into something that felt thematically satisfying, and it suggested a narrative without actually having a narrative, so to speak. So there's an implied story that corresponds with what the lyrics are about.
Did you source most of that footage on YouTube?
That was like a self-imposed restriction. Every Time I Die had a video for their song Underwater Bimbos from Outer Space. That video really stuck with me, so I wanted to explore that idea just for fun.
You made a 40-minute video to accompany the remix album. How did that idea begin?
I listen to a lot of dub techno. They'll have long dub techno videos on YouTube where it's a super long loop of a brutalist structure or whatever. Things like brutalism and ontology really influenced us. We just have a lot of conversations about emulating that, but also data moshing and degradation.
We're really into just strange, obscure, hauntological, eerie things. Even the idea to do a remix record, it came about before we had even finished the album proper. We were already reaching out to people. You had mentioned the electronic track to us before the interview. Chris did all of that.
You were already friends with a lot of the artists who wanted to do remixes on that project, and then just went from there?
Yeah, definitely. I think we all each asked 3 people.
I did not.
Who'd ask?
Gigi from Soul Glow.
You couldn't even do it.
How did you guys meet Quiet Fear for the first time, and when did you decide that you wanted to do a release with them?
We knew we wanted to tour the West Coast. We were thinking about a few other bands. They had hit us up previously. We had like a casual sort of online relationship with them.
Yeah, I had like someone that used to play bass for them had followed Massa Nera and also followed me, and like we kind of just like conversated a little bit because I was like, oh, check, I saw he had like a link in his like in his bio for a band, so I checked it out, and like immediately I was like, oh, this is sick, dude. We talked to him a little bit, but he ended up not even being like the actual connection to the band. Like after we like actually liked the band, I think we kind of just knew Chris, the guitarist, somehow. I think maybe from like Facebook groups or whatever. We kind of just like talked about stuff like that. But eventually, honestly, it just started off from like Instagram, just being like, oh, your band's cool. Like they liked our band, so
Yeah.
it just like became a friendship.
And when we were again thinking about who we wanted to tour with, their name came up. We reached out to them. They were able to do it. And we basically met them for the first time at New Friends Fest. The idea to do the split came about at the end of tour. We just had such an amazing time, and we established such a beautiful friendship with them. We felt like the split would be like an expression of that friendship.
Yeah, you guys do battle sets. How do you determine when to do that?
I mean, I was going to make a joke and say, don't do battle sets. It's a lot of work. Always record to a click. We didn't do that. Again, we're fucking idiots.
Yeah, we've never recorded to a click.
I mean, what inspired me? I mean, I've seen battle sets done on the internet. We've done battle sets
back in the day.
Yeah. So, we just wanted to kind of do that in a recorded setting with our real good friends.
So when it came time to, actually play the release, like doing it in the way it was actually structured as sort of like a battle set, it just made sense.
Doing the battle set was actually how we figured out we wanted it one band, then another band, one band, because that's how we were just like playing it, and we were just like, this kind of flows pretty well. Like the way we just did it live, we were just like really transitioning to each other's songs. We call it a battle set, but it's more like a collaborative set because we're like helping each other out.
Yeah.
Like we'll maybe like hop in for a part or just like help with the transition into the next song or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last song, of course, is just all eight of us at once.
Was it more similar to like a live album in some aspect?
We didn't record it in the same studio. Yeah, they were in California.
Oh, yeah.
We were in Philly with Steve Roche.
I wanted to talk to you about your merch designs, specifically the Metallica shirt. Tell me how that came to be and what made you want to do that.
For anyone who's not aware, there's this incredible documentary called Metallica, Some Kind of Monster, that chronicles the various mishaps that occurred while they were making their much maligned Saint Anger record. What we later discovered is that there's actually a treasure trove of unreleased footage from the filming. One such video that you could find on YouTube, it just chronicles them making this song with Ja Rule and Swizz Beatz. It's called We Did It Again. This song makes the songs that made it on the Saint Anger seem like the Beatles. It's so bad. It's like 3 songs haphazardly stacked on top of each other in such an incoherent, incompetent way. It defies belief. We were talking about making a funny shirt, and that song came up because we're all kind of obsessed with it, and one thing led to another, and the joke started to get taken very seriously. We sent all of our ideas to our artist, this person named Fulgencio Bermejo III. He's an amazing artist from the Philippines. We've worked with him extensively. He actually did almost all of the designs.
Yes. How did you first meet him?
We played in the Philippines 5 years ago. We did a Southeast Asia, Japan tour. It was Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, the Philippines, and then Japan. And while we were in Manila, he was living with one of our friends who helped organize the entire tour. We really hit it off with him. And then when we were figuring out the art direction for our fruitful, fulfilling artistic collaboration with him, when we sent him the ideas for the Massatalica shirt, he I couldn't see his face, but I imagine his eyes lit up. He was just like, this is exactly what I want to do.
Yeah, he actually that turnover was so fast compared to everything else he's done.
Yes.
It was coming in quick.
Yeah.
So it was really funny. So, it's safe to say he was having a lot of fun.
Were there multiple iterations of the shirt?
Yeah, actually.
In some ways, like, the iterations were pretty small, just figuring out what lyrics we wanted to apply to the sleeves or those fuzzy dice. I don't know if they were always there, but a couple of us were unsure if Swizz Beatz should be on the back, and we ultimately decided that, yes, he should be.
That's the most effort you ever put into a piece of merchandise beyond, your physical releases of your music?
For shirts, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Not the records. The records, we think we put way more effort into.
Way more effort. All of the shirts had a lot of effort put into them. It's just this one had stupid amounts of effort put into it.
That's really inspiring. I've never heard of a band doing something like that for a parody shirt.
Well, we're fucking stupid.
Yep, I was gonna say,
that's just what it is.
Is a very charitable word to use for that.
Been now producing with Massa Nera. Thank you so much.
Okay.